Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into something vital, the importance of reading books.
Yeah, it seems simple, but the impact is huge.
Exactly. We've gone through all our notes, the sources, to pull out the absolute key reasons why reading is just so essential. Our mission, to give you a real shortcut to understanding why this matters so much. Okay, let's unpack this.
Right.
So first off, our sources really hammered home that reading books helps people gain, well, new knowledge. But it's more than just facts, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. What really stood out from the material is how reading actually builds these unique pathways in the brain for putting information together.
Right, something you don't get from just passively watching stuff.
Exactly. There were studies showing people who read, say, just 20 minutes a day, they had vocabularies over 50% larger than non-readers within a year.
50%, wow.
Yeah. And it's not just about having more words.
Yeah.
It directly affects how well you can think analytically, understand complex things, science, history.
So it builds a better framework in your mind for processing everything.
That's a good way to put it. You're fundamentally upgrading your brain's operating system, not just adding files.
Okay, so for you listening, think of this like your personal turbocharge. Makes you incredibly well-informed, gives you that bigger picture view.
Without drowning in fragmented bits online.
Right. Now, it's not just what you know. Our notes also talked a lot about how reading changes the way you express yourself. Big focus on improving language skills. What did the sources say about how that actually works?
Well, it's quite subtle. It's not like drilling vocabulary lists.
Okay.
The material showed that when you read consistently, you sort of implicitly absorb syntax, grammar, the complex structures.
You just kind of soak it up naturally.
Pretty much. You internalize the rhythm, the flow of good writing, good arguments. It strengthens those pathways for speaking fluently.
Makes sense.
So you become not just, a better writer, but clearer, more precise when you talk too.
Okay, I see.
One finding that really jumped out was how reading different styles boosts your ability to explain complicated ideas. Super important for, academics work.
Yeah, for basically communicating effectively anywhere. Okay, here's where I found it got really interesting, maybe a bit less obvious. Digging through the notes, this idea kept coming up about how reading sparks imagination and creativity. How did our sources explain that connection?
Right, and it's not just about, picturing dragons or something, although fiction definitely lets you do that.
Yeah.
The sources stressed that reading, especially stories, narrative fiction, acts like a mental simulator.
A mental simulator, okay.
Yeah, you dive into different characters, places you've never been, complex situations. You're constantly working out what makes people tick, their perspectives.
Ah, stepping into their shoes.
Exactly. Theory of mind.
Yeah.
And that whole process directly encourages divergent thinking outside the box. Because you're seeing loads of different ways problems get solved in these stories, different ways people think. It's like a workout for your brain to consider possibilities beyond your own experience.
That's a huge advantage for creative problem solving, really in any part of life.
Absolutely.
So what does this all mean, tying it all together for you listening?
It boils down to a pretty clear message, I think. Reading books is just a profoundly beneficial habit. The value really adds up.
Right.
It gives you knowledge, sure, but also that deeper capacity for understanding. It refines your language, making you communicate better.
And boosts creativity.
And boosts creativity, enhances problem solving. It's truly an all-around investment in yourself.
Couldn't agree more. The main takeaway, looking across everything we reviewed, is pretty compelling. Making reading a daily habit, it's not just a nice idea.
No, it's genuinely one of the most impactful things you can do for your mind.
Definitely.
So maybe something for you to think about. What if you committed to just, say, 20 minutes of reading each day? How might that compound over a year? 5 years? Think about how it could keep sharpening your mind, expanding your worldview, fostering a richer, more innovative way of thinking. What new doors might that unlock for you?